Making the data right false. You don't need to stop. So third quarter. No. Third I can see one of those online. Karachi, no? Karachi, can you hear us?
Oh. What?
Okay.
Oh. You miss it. Miss it. Towards 23 third quarter. You know, I miss it. नहीं कहूँ
What's the
एक ही था पेंडिंग किया था दिन कोई बात बाहर चल रहे थे क्या
Máy udah clear kan ini? Oh, warna hitam. Oh, baik. Udah sama dah. Oh ini ada. Thank you. Okay, so welcome back to today's lecture. Again, this data analytics. So let's see you all. We'll see all. Let's see a substantial number of students. So I would like to welcome all of you, and so you can work as groups. So make sure that you are sitting students who have a laptop, at least some laptop. Some. So I can see, yes, your laptops are there. Here, almost all are.
Yes.
Fine. You want it?
Because it changed.
No,
Nothing on it.
Just you.
Right. So, I'm straight up and running. Okay. Right. So, what we'll do is, now let me give you a small revision of what we have done up to now. For the revision they have done. So I think the online, there are 3 online students. I hope you can hear us. So I know. Hello? Online students, can you hear me? Online, you know, so I know.
We can hear.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Great. Great. Right. So I would like to first of all again welcome all of you and let me give a small revision of what we did and some little of additional information I'll be thinking. But for that you need data. Now I think some people are installing. Don't know. We install.
Make it this. और make it बना
So now, till right now, make sure that you are the person who has a laptop installed with state. Right? Make sure that you are the person who is with a laptop, right? With state. Laptop we have done money. State of team. Because state is a lot of cash, right? So therefore, make sure that. And last time we did exercise 1, right? We all did exercise 1. Now let's do it together. Let's do exercise number 1 together. And so I even explain how to specify missing balance. Dot A. Likewise I explained. Now let's get into some other small technique as well. In that file creation command would be fine. And this will be a revision for some of you as well. So now, this is the data set that the exercise was there. So let me use the same exercise. Right? So let me use the same exercise. You can see here. So this is exercise number 1. Exercise number 1 is the Word file, and also I gave you the Excel file. So open the Excel file first of all. Just remind you and teach you little more techniques. Right? So these exercises we did last time. Right. So you can see here. So this is the tobacco data set. It's about smoking. What the college students are thinking about smoking. Is the data set. And here is the reference number is there and how old were you? Likewise, there are different answers, different questions and answers are taken. And then is the data that was collected in a word form. But can you import to Stata if the information is in word format? You can't. It has to be in Excel form. Or it could be in CSV form, but not in word form. Vertically important back. Can you import word files? You can't. The information to import should be in Excel, in Microsoft Excel, or maybe in SPSS or in CSV form. CSV is text data form. It is command edited form. Right. So that's why we first converted this word data file, the data table, into Excel. So this was the Excel file. Exercise 1. So you can go to the LMS and you can download if you want. If you are not already done. If you are done, if you have created, there's no problem, then you can use the same file. Right. So first download that file, the exercise file. If you are already done and if you have created, no problem. But if you are not done, we'll do it together. Okay. Now here it says reference number 8, gender, smoker, likewise, different things are there, which we understood last week as well. Now, I gave you certain instructions that before you import anything to data, you have to make sure that the data is in a correct order, correct format. One of the important information that I told you was that there cannot be blank rows or blank columns. No blank rows or blank column. You can see there's no blank column, blank rows. Very good. And also, I told you the variable names should follow certain rules. Can the variable names have blanks? So that's why there's an underscore. Can you see here? Reference number, rep, underscore, number. Cigarette smoker, sig, underscore smoke. Likewise, it was there. So make sure that these things are done before you import data into Stata. Then what did we do? So we checked the file and it's in order. We created that profile. And what was the next move? We close this. First close the file, make sure that the Excel file is okay and close it. Now it's downloaded into download folder. Then import into Stata what you have done. What was the next step? You can look at notes that you have taken. If you have taken notes. So that's why you have to take notes. Right? So if you have not taken down notes, then now, at least now we take it down. Write it down. Importing data, please take down. Importing data, if you have already have got that, no problem. If not, you can write down these things. If you have not taken down, importing data from Excel to Stata. Importing data, please take down. Importing data, if you have written down, no problem. I can know that. That's how we are here. Importing data from Excel to Stata. Right? Step number 1. What was step number 1? Prepare the Excel file properly. That's step number 1. Step number 2. What's step number 2? Open a fresh data session. Right? If you are not taking it down, please take it down. Importing Microsoft Excel data to Stata. Importing Microsoft Excel data to Stata. Step number 1. Step number 1 is what? Create the Excel sheet properly. Create the Microsoft Excel sheet properly. You can prepare as you want. It has to be done using the proper format. What's the proper format? Yes, on the top row of the Excel file, the variable name should appear. There cannot be any blank columns, blank rows. No. And can there be two same variable names in the same data set? Like gender, they can You can't. Age, no. no duplicates, and you cannot have any what spaces within the variable names. No duplicates. It shouldn't be too lengthy. Likewise, there are some rules that we stand, right? Then what we do? So that's step number one. Step number two, open a fresh data session. Fresh data session. So I'm just reminding you. You have done that, you don't need to do it again. So how to open a fresh data session? So you will go to Windows and then you will see data. You will say data. Data 90 BE. And that will open data. Now what you need to do is you need to import. Now under step number two, these are the soft steps to import the Excel file state. Right? So remind me, I forgot that. How to import? The import කරන්න විදියක් නෑ. රජය දාලා තියෙන මොකක්ද? Restriction. So රජය පොදු පාඩවල නෑ. Data වල තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න. So data very there's no tax problem. Right. So once you open data, those any unnecessary windows that are there, then do what? Go to file and then what? Import. Go to file and import. Then go to Excel. Because the data is in Excel format. So then use Excel. Then what we do? You went to browse and located that file. Located that file. That's exercise 1. Exercise 1. And I open it. Then it gives a preview of what's in the Excel file. Shall I now press OK? Shall I press OK? The data is there, isn't it? Elegantly, the data is there. Now I just need to press OK, isn't it? Very good. No, if you press OK, then don't follow things. Why? What's wrong? You can see. You can see the first row is not the variable name. It should be the first row should be the data. And these should be what? The column headings. Reference number should come not ABCD. That's wrong. ABCD is not the variable name. Variable names are what? Reference number A, gender, smoker, sick, like that, those are the. So that's why you have to put a tick. What's the tick? Now it's fine to press OK. Now you can see the variable names has come as column names. Right? Please make sure you do that. I saw several students get it wrong. At the exam, if you are import and if you are unable to import properly, then after that you are unable to do any kind of analysis. Midterm, they are midterm, individual based exams. So we have to deal. Right. Then that's fine. We'll press OK. Right. Now the data was imported. How do you know that data has come? One of page. It tells. It says what? 13 variables and 15 observations are imported. And also, there's another indication that data have come into data is this. You can see under the variable view, the variables are listed. Under the variable view, the variables are listed. But still I cannot see the data set. How can I see the data set? By using what command? What's the command I use? I told that there are two commands that you could use. One is what? The browse command. The other one is called the edit command. Today we shall use the edit command because we are going to do some editing, which I am going to show you. Right? Edit command. So we shall use edit. Edit. All simple. I put edit. And I'm going to sit, I'm going to hit enter. So the data editor window opens. Now you can see the data. Now you can see the data. Right? Now you can see the data. Now today, now this is what we did, and then we save the data. We specify missing values as well. But today I'm going to teach you a little bit more information on how you can specify labels and value labels. It was clear. But labels and value labels. How to specify labels and values. Please take down a small topic. Specify labels and value labels. Specify labels and value labels is data. Specify labels and value labels is data. Value labels. Specify labels and value labels is data. Right? What are labels? Labels are variable labels. Now you can see, for an example, here you can see in the data editor window, you can see the variables. Now if you go to the first variable, reference number, you can see. You cannot see. You can see the name of the variable is what? Reference number, the label is again reference number. So rather than, now the name and the label are the same. But the label should be a nice label. Now say for an example, it says age, gender, smoker, six smoke. No one knows what six smoke. So you can give meaningful labels instead. Now here the names are there. Names are short names. But labels, you can give meaningful labels. Descriptions. Meaningful descriptions could be. Let's see how to specify meaningful description. Those are called labels for variables. Now let's say for an example, if it is reference number, so you can select reference number like this. And then here you can give the label. Here the label is there. Rather than reference number, which is the variable name itself, you can give a description, a nice description for that variable. Let's say reference number, not reference number, let's say reference number. Right? Let's specify. You can do a meaningful label. Then let's go to age. So age, rather than just having age, you could say age of respondent as the label. Age of respondent. The gender, you could say rather than just gender, you could say gender of respondent. So see, now you can give descriptive labels, not just short names. You can give descriptive labels rather than short names. This smoker, smoke means what? Smoke means what? You can go and see. Here you can see what's the smoke. So here, you are the gender. Do you smoke at all? Whether you are a smoker. So the label could be what? Rather than smoke, whether. You choose that and you can give here whether you are a smoker. right? And even a question mark put together. So likewise, you can give elaborate descriptions. Then the next one is six smoker. So do you smoke cigarettes? So you can give the same thing. Do you smoke cigarettes? Not smoke, let's say, do you smoke cigarettes? So next one is what? Then number of cigarettes smoked. On average, do you smoke cigarettes? Then the next variable is on average, how many cigarettes a day would you say that you smoke? So number of cigarettes per day. Likewise, give some meaningful names, meaningful labels. Likewise, you could give, do you smoke a pipe? Rather than pipe, it says pipe, do you smoke a pipe? Likewise, you can specify, I'm not going to do that for all, but what you can do is, you can specify meaningful labels. Because if not, if it is a short name, then you cannot understand what's there. Right? So that's how you could specify labels. Labels for the variables. Is it clear? I just demonstrated examples. You don't need to do that. What you can do is in any data set, if you have any data set, you can specify the labels. It can be done for any data set. So don't worry if you have not got this data set. Just try that in some other data set. Number two, the next thing that I'm going to teach is that's called labels of variables. Labels of variables. Labels are descriptive details, descriptors of the variable. Next thing what you can do is you can specify value labels. That's what I'm going to teach you second. What are value labels? If you go to the questionnaire, the value labels are there. You can see it says gender is no problem. Do you smoke at all? You can see the coding is 1 and 2. 1 is what? 1 is what? Yes. 2 is what? No. So it's yes, no type of question. So what you can do is you can create now. If you go to the data set, it's 1 and 2. We don't know whether it's yes or no. Since we have the questionnaire now, we know that. But if you have only the data set, we don't know what's whether one is yes or whether one is no. Isn't it? So we can specify that also, which is called value labels. We can specify 1 is yes, 2 is no. We can specify that also. Right. So what I could do is here you can see there are yes no type of questions. Do you smoke cigarettes? Again, yes no. Yes no type of questions are there. So I can create a value label for yes no. And they allocate that to these questions. Let's see how to do that. Now see here. This is smoke variable, whether you smoke or not. So let's say I want to now specify what's yes and what's no. Now here it's 1 and 2. After 1 month, you should look at the data set without the questionnaire. You don't know what's 1 and what's 2. Isn't it? So that's where you can now specify it. How to do that? You go to smoke variable. After the data, you have the smoke variable. So please select the smoke variable. And afterwards, go down and go to value label. You can see here, there's value label. Can you see that? Value label. Value label is there. Now it's blank. So we shall create a value label. The value label we can create is like this. You can go here, there are 3 dots. Now the value label, you will see none. None is there. But then you can see there are 3 dots. Go to those 3 dots and then you can create a value label. How to create one? So just go to these 3 dots and hit on those three dots, then this manage value label comes. A dialog comes. And here I can now create a label. Create label. And it tells, okay, what's the name of the label? I'll say yes, no. Yes, underscore no. Don't leave any spaces. So give the label name as yes underscore no. Because you are not allowed to have spaces. And then you can specify the value. One is what? Value one. Value one is what? Yes. You can say yes and add that. Number two, as no. Add that. So we told one, value one is yes, and value two is no. Yes and no. And what you need to do is you can just press OK. And now you can close this. Now you created a value label, but still you did not apply. So now to apply value label for smoke variable, what you can do is you can go to value label and in this drop down, if there's just no. There's just no that you create. Now see what has happened. One yes, one no. Now see what has happened. This has become yes, no. But actually the data is one. If you go and click on this, the data is Lanka. It wasn't in the data cake, but it shows the value label. Do you understand it? Then once you say this, it will be there. Then people will know what's one and what's two. That's why the three possibility, one key and two key and right? Is that clear? That's how you could specify value labels. Earlier it was variable labels. These are value labels for different positions in the data. Now, cigarette smoke also you can specify. Cigarette smoker, go to cigarette smoke. Again for cigarette smoker or not. Again, yes is one and no is two. So you can apply the same value label. You can reuse the value labels that you create. So again, it's yes and no. Right. Then now we go to next one. Number of cigarettes, no, you cannot specify value labels. It's number of cigarettes. It's not a yes no thing. Do you smoke a pipe? That's also yes and no, isn't it? So you can go to that variable also, pipe variable. Pipe and apply yes no value label. So that also became now yes no. Then cigars also. One is yes and the other one is no. So you can apply the same. Now in Excel you cannot do this. Value labels data back. This can be done only in Stata and SPSS. So here you can say value labels. For pipe also, cigars, yes, no. Give up. What are the value labels? Give up. Again, it's yes, no. So you can apply the same thing. Value label. Yes, no. Right. Then comes the Likert scale. Likert scale is what? Disagree 1, strongly disagree 1, disagree 2, agree 3, and strongly agree 4. Now the value labels are different, isn't it? These are Likert scale labels. Can you apply yes, no? You can't. For this, you have to create a new value label. Can you do that? So let's go again back to, and let's go to tax. Here we have this one. Under tax, please go to value labels. We cannot apply yes no value label. Now we shall create one called Likert and say what's 1, 2, 3, 4 and apply that to all these 4. How can you do that? You'll go to this. And now yes no is there already what we created earlier. Now I'm going to create a new label. Create label. Create a new label. And let's say give any name what you want. Let's say Likert. So I'll give you Likert. I'll say 1, strongly disagree. Isn't it? 1 is strongly disagree, isn't it? 2, disagree. And 3, agree. And 4, strongly. So now you have the 4 positions. Now what you can do is you can press OK, and so you can see the Likert has also come here, and you can close the value list. Now let's apply to tax, health, and cinema the value labels. Right? Shall we do that? How to do that? So being the tax, you are already in the tax value labels. You can specify Likert. Now it became what? Strongly disagree to strongly agree, all things are there. Then also for health, we can do the same thing. Health, value labels, I'm going to apply the same Likert. Cinema, also I will be applying the value label. So likewise, now you can see for the entire data set, labels are there. Now you have variable labels properly as well as you have value labels. You have to specify these things so your data set will be accurate. Right? Is that clear? And then you can save the data set. You can go to File and save the data set. I'll just give you maybe tobacco data set. I'll give just your name. And I'll just say save. So it's now saved as a data file. So today I taught you right how to specify labels as well as value labels. This is important because then it will be you will be completing the data set. Now the data set is completely prepared. Right. Now see here. He's a smoker, cigarette smoker, yes, the number of cigarettes given. But we saw last time, he says yes, cigarette smoker, but has not given an option. That's what? That's what? Missing? Isn't it? To specify missing values, you can use .a. right? Now to specify this is a missing value, you can use dot A. Dot and did I teach you that? Dot say kilo. Just right. Right now the term. So that was that you had taken note. So let's see how to do that. Now here you can see this is missing value. What are missing values? And eight is now put again. Why is that you? Now the product over here. So you can go to the data set. You can go to the first slideshow that you can download it from the LMS. And here you can see what I told you last time. What is your age? You cannot keep it blank. If you leave it blank, then it becomes what? A missing value. Right? On the other hand, you say, are you married? You ask, if you are not married, then you need to tell how many children do you have? If you are not married, you are not supposed to have kids. Leave it. So, you have to skip this. So, it's not applicable. For an unmarried person, asking question number 3 is not applicable. You have to skip that question. So, that's not applicable. Keep it blank. But on the other hand, let's say there's a married guy who has no kids yet, just married. Then what should be the answer? 0. It should be 0. So that likewise, there are 3 positions that you would have. It could be not applicable. It could be then it's blank, you leave it blank. It could be 0, then you put it 0. And sometimes some people don't have not answered the required question. We call it what? You are supposed to answer but have not given an answer. Now, for example, a person is asked, what's your age? The person has not given an answer for that. Then what's that? That's missing data. That's missing data. Now go to the data set. Now look at very carefully. Here this person, she's a female. She's a smoker and she's a cigarette smoker. Then can she leave the cigarette, the number of cigarettes she smokes blank? Can you leave it blank? You can't. You can't leave it blank. So here, a typical case of what? Missing data. She was supposed to give an answer, but not given an answer. She might have felt shy. The number of cigarettes she smoked. So to specify a missing data, what you can do is you can go over here and type dot A. You can type dot A. So data would know it's a specific type of missing data. Dot A. Are there further missing data? This person also says that person smokes, cigarette smoker, but left is blank. Can you leave it blank? You are a cigarette smoker, then you have to tell how many cigarettes you smoke. Half you have to. So here also it has become what? You can say dot A. Dot A. So in data, you can go from dot A to dot Z to specify different types of missing data. Dot A, dot Z, then you can see here also this person, again a female. A female, or the other is quiet. Yeah, here it's a doom. Can you leave it blank? No. You have to tell. You are a cigarette smoker, you have to tell how many cigarettes you smoke. On average. So here also there should be dot A. Now here is this a missing value. So this person is not a smoker and left it blank. Is it correct? Indeed. If you are not a smoker, then you need to answer how many cigarettes do you smoke? No. Because you are not a smoker. Is it? If you are a small only, you will be answering. Now you are not a small. Right. So what begins? Blank. Then, if I go to the data a little bit more, now here, whether you are a smoker or not, you have to tell whether you agree with whether tax is high, whether it impacts health, whether you can smoke in cinema. Likewise, you will ask 3 questions. Can you leave it blank? You have to tell. From that 4 Likert scale, 4-point Likert scale, you have to tell whether you agree or disagree. Isn't it? So here you can see there are blanks. There are blanks. Can you leave it blank? No, you can't. So it also has become what? Missing here. So therefore, these also we can put dot A. Dot A. Okay, so we also apply dot A for this. So now we know it's missing and it's gone. So that's how you will specify missing data. And then you can save the file. You can go to file. And you can go save. So if you ask whether to replace the data, you say yes. Right. So that's how you specify missing data. So I gave you the entire summary of what we have done up to now. I told you how to import data, right? Then I told you how to specify missing data. Then I told you how to apply labels, value labels as well. So after this, you have the complete data. Right. Today we shall then come into this was a summary, and please work it out again. This lecture is recorded. So if you are unable to do that, look at the recording and apply that. The recording is there. Right. Let's close the data set, the data editor, as well as data set. So we applied our knowledge into the exercise. That's good. Right. And you can even close state. Close data as well. So today let's go to the second topic that we are going to discuss, which is called descriptive statistics. So go to data session 2. Descriptive statistics. Here you can see data session 2 descriptive statistics. It's just after data session 1. And then there's another data file for that as well. So please download these two. Please download these two files. And today I'm going to start with descriptive statistics. Right? Father, who is it? Right. Okay. Now please download these two files. Easy. Now, please download these two files. Session 2, session 2, pay session 2. And today I am going to start with what are the distributive statistics. Almost caught. What Right. Now, let's see. Now, these are manual exercise. So, if you have label note like anything, I'll give you the but if you want label, I can do it on. Don't want. That as a good question she's asking. Now, how can we record? You have to take down notes. One here is a laptop book. One is a laptop book. You have to take down. You have to immediate document. How to do the things. I'll be telling you things. Take a slide again. A good point. Right. So let's go to data session 1. So now data session 2. Please download the file. Now it's data session 2, descriptive statistics. Enable editing. Right. So now let's see what's the descriptive statistics. Today we'll start now data. File creation is finished. We understood how to create files and how to do everything. Now from today onwards, we'll see how to do descriptive analysis in data. Right. But first of all, we have to understand what's the purpose of doing descriptive analysis. Why? Why do we do descriptive analysis? I have descriptive analysis. You know why we do descriptive analysis. Why? Yes, to describe. Why? To describe the sample. You do descriptive analysis because to describe the sample. Now you are collecting a sample for your analysis. So you have to describe that and tell what are the sample characteristics. So that's the main idea. And then what are the types of descriptive analysis? What are the types of descriptive analysis? There are different types. You can see that frequency analysis. That's one type of frequency. That's one kind of descriptive analysis. Then you also could see measures of central tendency, dispersion, distribution, and location. Now these things you should have studied in your first year. I'm again really sorry to bring this first year stuff again. So what are measures of central tendency? Mean, median, mode, those are measures of central tendency. Then measures of dispersion. Maximum value, minimum range, IQR, variance and standard deviation. What's IQR? I told you that, right? What's IQR? What are the notes? IQR stands what? Very good. Interquartile range. IQR. Interquartile range. Then distribution, skewness and kurtosis. What skewness and kurtosis? What skewness and kurtosis? I did in your first year stuff. What a first year skewness and kurtosis. So we'll discuss that also. I will show you the simple concept. Then measures of location, quartiles and percentiles. Quartiles are Q1, Q2, and Q3. It's the location, the data set. In the percentile, 50th percentile, 75th percentile, those are measures of location. Right. So all these we use to describe the data. Then graphical analysis, you can perform graphical analysis like histograms, pie charts, bar charts, etc. etc. Right. You can draw these charts. Now, by taking an example, we are going to study all of these. Right, you see that. But before that, let me give some background knowledge. Now, based on the type of the data, I can hear some students are speaking. Any problem? Right. So please concentrate. And it will be a kind of cover to the others. So right. So now let's take an example and try something. But I would like to elaborate a very important point. Now here you can see there are different kinds of analysis. But you will apply this analysis based on the type of the data. When it comes to quantitative data, we can divide it into two categories. What are the two categories? One is called continuous data. The other one is called categorical data. If the variable is categorical or nominal, like gender, you can give a number, of course, 1 and 2. But we have only two categories. Now, for an example, I have ordered gender 1 and 2, and if I calculate the mean value, is there a meaning for it? Gender give mean value calculate karna. And I say 1.25. It doesn't mean anything, isn't it? So those are categorical data, nominal data. Categorical data. So you can see here, for categorical data, nominal data, we perform frequency analysis. Please make a special note out of that. Frequency analysis. Frequency analysis. That's what you do. Frequency analysis. If the data is categorical or nominal, like gender, you perform frequency analysis. Right. But on the other hand, if the data is continuous, like income, your age and income also can be given as categories. But if the real age is given or the real income is given, that's called continuous data. Your bank account balance, is it categorical or continuous? Is it categorical or continuous? Bank account balance? It's continuous, right? It can have any value from 0 to 1 billion or even more. You could have. So that's. How about temperature? Is it categorical or continuous? Temperature, what do you think? Temperature is categorical or continuous? It's continuous because it can have any value. Categorical, right? Marital status. Is it continuous? Now let's say I would say married 1, unmarried 2. Can there be 1.25? Sir, I have to clean up. Married is done, unmarried is done. That's better than the water. Is it categorical or continuous? Marital status. Category. Education status. Like which can take okay, O level, A level, degree level, master level, PhD level. What's that? Is it categorical or continuous? It's categorical. What's categorical? Yes. So likewise, if the data is categorical, perform what? Frequency analysis. Keep this very well in your mind. On that अंतिम assignment के group assignment के करके नहीं रहा जेंडे के apply कर लेगा mean value को calculate कर हम पहले से उस वाला analysis वाले केस की पूरी violate कर we have violated the first principle that I have wrote. What that? If categorical data you don't calculate mean. There is no meaning of calculating mean value for a categorical value. Isn't it? For that, what you have to do is you have to perform something called a frequency analysis, which I teach you. What's the frequency analysis? I teach you now. But on the other hand, if the data is continuous, like income, age, temperature, bank account balance, then you will be performing these analysis. What's that? Measures of center tendency, dispersion and distribution, and even location. You can perform that if it is continuous data. Right? We will perform all of these using state. We will perform state against. Right? Can we do that? Right. Now, for the analysis purpose, let's use this data set. Employee intention to leave. Right? So I have already given you this data, so you don't need to convert earlier it goes in SPSS, that's why it says in SPSS file, but now it's in data file. So what we do is you go to the LMS and you can see there's a file just below that data session number 2, employee intention to leave. Can you see that there's a file? Please download it and open it in state. Make a download color, state again open. Right, you can see it's a data file. So what I'll do is I'll open a fresh data session. You can download folder in NDA. So I'll open a fresh data session. Data now 19B. Please open one fresh session and import or not import actually open. import Excel data because this already in data format. Then go to file, open. Once data opens, you go to file open and go to the download folder. And you can see there's data session 2, employee retention leave, DTA. Please open it. So you open that file. Did you open that file? No problem. No. Part of the catalog card, catalog name. So open that file. Now, once you open a file, please view the data. First thing to do is please view the data. Why is that? Because sometimes you might have opened the correct file. Sometimes it might not work. So therefore the best one is what? Open and see. How can you see the data? Data file. The data file. How can you see that? Very good. You have two options for that. What are the two options? Either use the browse command or use what? Edit command. Echo browse command use command. Echo edit command use. Whether the option is edit command or browse command use command. Earlier we used edit because we gave the label, value labels, those things. So you can do browse command. Browse. All simple, no capitals. All simple, no capitals. Right. And you tell me. If the command was correct, no red color can walk around circle. It will open the text. Yeah. Sir, make up to go. Make up to blue. Why these are blue color? They are the numbers. These are what? Value labels. Here I apply value labels here. 8, there is no value label. But here you can see male, female. If you go to male, you can go to male. Let's say gender. Go to the gender variable. And then it says the label. It says what's the label? My value labels are applied. You can see male, female is there. And I'm going to close it with the data editor and we're going to go to edit. Edit. Okay, edit again. You can go to gender. Made in label. You can see this label is gender is male 1 and 2, 1 male, 2 females. Then the next value label is what? Very dissatisfied to dissatisfied. Very dissatisfied, the Likert scale. Then another label is there. Very low to very high. And another just low. Likewise, different value labels are. That has been added. Right. So likewise, take an understanding of the data. These are value labels applied. Actually, there are numbers here, but they are given behind value labels. Right. Now, by looking at the variables, can you please tell me what are the categorical variables and what are the continuous variables? Variables you have variable legacy category. If you go and see the variable list, there are this one, not this data set, of course. Make variables clear. See, variables. So earlier it should have shown that. Here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Around 12, 13 variables are come. Now tell me, out of these variables, out of these variables, what are categorical variables and what are continuous variables? What are continuous variables? What are categorical variables? We'll ask each cluster. What's the category variable size? He said then that we agree. Yes, it's a category variable. Another category variable can be last. What's another category variable? Age. Is age a category variable? Use the category. Gender is a category. Then how about this one? Job satisfaction. That's a Likert scale. So it's not merely a categorical, but it's a Likert scale. Job satisfaction. Smoker variable. How about the smoker variable? Smoker variable, see what smoker variable? What smoker variable again? So go and see the description. Label you bola. Dekho the label kar diye. What is smoker variable? Let's ask this people. Smoker variable what's that? Is it a categorical variable or continuous status? Categorical is continuous. More. Absolutely. The category, yes, no. Category. Two categories. You don't know what the. How do you get the top category? Leave. What do you think? Yes, that also Likert is a kind of, but it can also be taken as a. Where is the I will leave over the category. Then other again, number of children. That's why child is sure that it is. Never let the game. So I use a category. I told you, for category short answer, please take down. Performing frequency analysis. Please take down. Performing frequency analysis. Performing frequency analysis for gender. Smoker for the gender. Performing frequency analysis for the gender, comma, for the gender, comma, smoker, and child variables. Performing frequency analysis for gender, comma, smoker, and child variables. Let's see how to do it. Right? Now take down the steps. Now these are categorical variables. I told you for categorical variables, you are performing what? Frequency analysis. Always keep that in mind. Antima, megadi just all I know about the presentation yakara. Right? What the gender mean value calculate. There's no meaning for calculating mean value for the data variable. Right? So now take down the steps. Now follow the frequency analysis karna vidhi. How do you do that? You go to data main window again. Go to the data main window and now go to statistics, summaries, labels, and tests. And two small arrows and take down. Frequency tables and then one-way table. Please take down statistics, summaries, tables, and tests, frequency tables, and go to one-way table. One-way table, because you take one-way table. One way. Okay. Later on, you can take two way, three way, likewise, there are different ways that you can take. But this is a one way. Shall I click this? Right? Okay. Yeah. Then now, once you click that, a dialog box appears and it asks, okay, what's the categorical variable that you want? Now there are three categorical variables that you have to consider. What are those three? Gender, smoker, and child weight. Child here, whether you have a child or not. Right? So what you do is, here, gender. Let's take gender first. And also, treat missing values. Treat missing values like other values. I want to see whether there are missing values. Right? First of all, let's run it with missing values, and after that, without missing values. Because I would like to see whether there are missing values. Right? What are missing values? So, we will do that. What are missing values here? They were supposed to be another. Gender was missing. If someone is asked what's your gender, can you say, I don't know. They must continue. No. Right. Okay. Right. Now you have the gender. And now press OK. There are no missing values, so there is no problem. So you can say this is what is called a frequency table. In the frequency table, right? In the frequency table, you can see what's given is the frequency, the number. So altogether there are 439 employees. In this data set, these are all employees. There are 439 employees. Out of the 439 employees, 185 are males. Then 254 are females. Right? In terms of percentage, what's the percentage of males? 42.14 and females 57.86. Right. Now insights. Now that's what we describe. What's the insight? Okay, you want to pull out to pay or not give you want to get it pay. Frequency is there. But what's the insight? Majority in this organization are what? Whom? That's the insight. Majority, that means 57.86, almost 58% are females in this organization. That's the insight that you are. So this is males, females. Okay, second, that's the gender balance. So here is gender imbalance. Right? Females are high. It is not a big issue, but again, right? That's the insight that you need. Gender balance. Okay. So this is how you could analyze and explain the result. Right? Can you do that for the other variables? Smoke variable. Smoke variable indicate whatever. Like currently smoke variable. Then balance is a command का तरीका. Can you see the command is there? Tabulate gender, comma missing. So if you want to generate the next table, what you have to say is tabulate smoker, comma missing. But it's much easier if you write the command sometime. Again, tick tick. So therefore, what you can do is smoke variable like a lot of anything you will this random. No one has to remove. We are the hospital mark. Better boy in the doctor. Without boy, the doctor will be a country. Here, it was a what I, which what I thought again. Because couple de gusta gano, o más de gusta gano, couple de gusta. I'm doing it. So this is right. Shall we see how to do that? Again, let's follow the. You can do the command, but again, I would like to see. Like you can go statistics, summaries, tables, and this. So you go to frequency tables, and you go to one-way table. And now instead of gender, I'm going to take what? Smoke variable. Smoke variable, and I will press OK. They keep no how. They keep no missing idea. Everyone here and there. Here can you see? There are 439 employees. Right, there are 439 employees. But 3 people have not indicated whether they are in smoker or not. They have not indicated. Right. So the percentage comes like this. In this case, right, this is only to see in the first instance whether there are missing values or not. But usually, we ignore missing values when we report awareness. So therefore, what we can do is, once we check this is only 3. Now, if there are 50, then there's a problem. Right? That's the amount of missing values. To check that, you can see, but here again it's only 3. 3 missing values. And you can see the percentage. So, who is the majority? Smokers or non-smokers? Smokers or non-smokers? Fortunately, right? 80%, almost 80% are non-smokers. Right? So they are not suicidal. Smoking is a kind of suicide. Not only you are suicidal, you are suicidal, you are not murdering, in fact, you are murdering your loved ones as well. Because when you smoke, what happens is, right, the others are silent smoke. They get also cancer and all other kinds of things. I don't know why, still I can see some people, of course, not in your age, or when we were here, right? I saw you. So, Arabi is going to be in national by last for all in a fight for garden, fight for Zulu. But even dangerous drugs. Keep away at all costs. Don't associate anyone who's using drugs. Never associate people who are using drugs. Keep away. Like cancer. Cancer comes in our one. People who use drugs, they tend to make you also drug addicts. So they are victims. So keep away. Don't associate with those people. So you can see, fortunately, almost 8% are what? That's good. Right. Now the next thing I would like to see is children. How many guys have children? At least one. Having children, not saying. Can you see that? Can you tell me how many people or how much percentage who is having children? Now there are 439 employees. Out of that, what's the percentage who is having children or no children? Can you tell me? Go the current. Right. So you go to again frequency tables and other tables. Now rather than smoker, I want to see type. Yes, press off. There's එකත් එක්කෙනෙක් අමතක වෙලා යාට මම කියනවාද නැද්ද? Yeah, so one person has got told. That's busy. දැන් අමුතු ළමෙක් ඉන්නවද නැද්ද කියන එක ප්ලෑන් කියන්න පුළුවන්. පවරුට මතකයි. ළමයි ගන්න මතකයි. Some people they cannot remember. මොකද ඉන්නේ පොඩ්ඩක් කොළඹින් ඈත. ඒකට දුම්රිය තමයි ගමන් කරන්නේ. Right. Okay. So frequencies, so out of 439, 185 are having at least one key. K coming down, yes, K again. No, there are 253. So they use the majority. Singles, not singles, actually, employees not having kids, not singles. Employees are not having kids. Right? But there are 185, but 57%, but 40%, almost 42% is having kids. Therefore, this organization might need to think that about that. Maybe the kids are in small age, then they might need to establish daycare centers, etc. So likewise, these are for planning purposes. Smokers, non-smokers, if there are smokers, then you have to designate smoking areas and also try to give counsel to reform them. Try them to bring it to the correct path. So these are smokers. They are killing themselves as they are lounging. Right. Now I want to know this. Now I want to create a two-way frequency. What then? Now you have done the frequency analysis, there's no problem. Let's say I will see among females, how many are smokers? How many are not smokers? Among males, how many are smokers and how many are not smokers? For that, we can produce a two-way frequency analysis table. Right? So please just write down below that. How many of males are smokers? How many of males are smokers? Why? How many of males are smokers? How many of males are smokers? Why? Why? How many of females? How many of females are non-smokers? Why? How many of females are non-smokers? How many of males are smokers, while how many of females are non-smokers? So to do that, you need to come up with a two-way frequency table. That's called a two-way frequency table. You can go again to statistics. So please follow my path. Statistics, summaries table and test, and then frequency tables, and you can go to now two-way table. You can see now there are two areas. Statistics, summaries tables and tests, frequency tables. Now go to two-way table. Two-way table because there are now two variables, gender as well as smoker variable. You are going to juxtapose. Two-way table. Row variable, let's say gender. The column variable, let's say, is smoke. Smoke. And also you can take these things if you want. Relative frequencies. You can tap that. Yeah, I think that's enough. Just you can tap or click relative frequencies. Gender, smoker, relative frequencies. Gender, smoker, relative frequencies. And you can press OK. Maybe. Now you can see in this table, we have males, right? How many are smokers? You can see out of male, 33 are smokers. 154, 151 are non-smokers. Consider. So the majority of males are non-smokers. But how about females? Yes, in their case also, 52 are what? Smokers, while 200 are non-smokers. So you can see the statistics. And the relative frequencies are also given. The frequencies are also given. Now, 42% are males and 57% are females. Now, out of 42%, 34% are non-smokers. But you can see, out of 57%, 45% are non-smokers. While 11% out of 57 are smokers among females. Likewise, you can see the relative frequencies and you can get insights. This is what we call a two-way frequency test. Earlier it was a one-way frequency because you do only one way, right? So likewise, you can get different insights after the data. Again, to summarize, what I wrote is, if the variable is what? If the variable is a categorical variable, what analysis you should perform? Frequency analysis. So we took here three categorical variables. What are three categorical variables? Gender, smoker, and the child variables. Isn't it? Well, right. So with that, then we'll take a small break. And we'll continue our discussion. Now it's 3:03. By 3:20, please come. Right. Ulai is there.
අනේ මට මතක නැහැ. කොහමද දෙකක් තමයි ඉන්න තියෙන්නේ. මේ කවිරේවේ සමාන ටිපික්ස් වල හදලා තියෙනවා. Oh, đấy. Ai kể xong rồi. Để cái này em lên đây. Biraz bir dakika sonra. Ada date ada. Ada date ya. Oh, head ඔයා හැදුවද? අනිත් මගේ ලැප්ටොප් ෆෝන් එකේ තාම වල 40ක් මොකද්ද
That's already 3:30. Right. And once the students come, we'll take attendance as well, isn't it? Right. The attendance come and ask the. So, shall we take attendance? Attendance will come here. Okay, are you ready? After the next one. Yeah, so attendance. I'm going to come up. Come to the continue here. One attendance. I got one.
Rashi. Rashi. Yamma.
Wow. Attention is very important. For a gun attendant. Everyone okay with the attendance? Take attendance. Right. So that's about attendance. I think enough time, no? That is attendance. Okay. So, attendance.
Hello, make you.
Okay. Right.
Oh, hospital link is that.
Okay, so you were discussing. So what we discussed, we performed was one day frequency analysis as well as we performed the two-way frequency analysis because the relative frequencies delta and time variables like here we put the delta and stroke results. Likewise, we can perform one-way or two-way frequency analysis. The next thing is what we are going to do is we are trying to now understand these things. Right? Now, if the data was a categorical variable, if the data was a categorical variable, we perform what? A frequency analysis. Now you know how to perform that without anything. Now I am going to teach you if the data was a continuous variable, how to perform this analysis. Now these were discussed earlier in your studies. Measures of central tension. What are examples of measures of central tension? Median. So mean, median, those kind of things, isn't it? Measures of central tendency and mode. Mean, median, and mode. Then dispersion. What range? What range? Range क्या? The difference between the maximum and the minimum value. Range means the difference between the maximum and the minimum value. The difference between max and min value. Let's say if the maximum weight was 82 and the minimum weight was 80, so the difference between 82 and 80, right? How much is that? 82 and 80, what's the difference? 64? Something like that, isn't it? So that's the range. Then IQR. IQR can get. What's IQR? So this is IQR. Now you can see, I can put the data in an order. IQR can get the interquartile range. That's also measure for dispersion. IQR is the difference between two quartiles, quartile 3 and quartile 1. So let's see IQR. So what's IQR? Right, I think you can see what's IQR. Oh, yeah, fan up there. IQR. Now, what's IQR? IQR is interquartile range. Now, range is something else. Range is the difference between max and mean value. But what's IQR? Now, to calculate IQR, first what you have to do is you have to put the data in ascending or descending order. Right? You put the data in ascending or descending order. So let's say in ascending order. So you have the minimum here and maximum here. You can put that in descending or ascending order. So what's the exact mean value? First note, what you call the exact mean value? Median. Mean. It's a median. Which is also known as what? Q2. Q2. Quartile 2. So this is the 50th percentile. 50th percentile. It's the 50th position. Exactly. So if you break this over here, what's this? What's that? 75th percentile. Then what's this? 25th percentile. Very good. These quartiles, now you have broken into 4. This is the first quartile, Q1, this Q2, and this Q3. So what's IQR? IQR is the difference between Q3 minus Q1. That's IQR. IQR is the difference between Q3 and Q1. So that's IQR. Okay. So let me show you an example worked out. Right. So let's see what's IQR here. Now here this example, you can see the median is 71. Q1 is 64. Q3 is 77. Then what's the IQR? Q3 minus Q1. 77 minus 64. 30. Exactly. Can someone tell me what's the range? What's the range? Huh? What's the range? So you deduct 62 from 81. The difference between 81 and 62, what's that? How much? 90, isn't it? 90. So that's called range, while the IQR is 13. So these are measures of dispersion because it shows the difference. Standard deviation is another important measure of dispersion, right? Right. Variance is the square, right, of what? Standard deviation. Right. You take the standard, you take the square root of variance, then you get the standard deviation. Right. These are all what measures of dispersion. Then also we have measure of distribution. Measures of distribution. Measures of distribution, a good example is what? Skewness and kurtosis. What skewness and kurtosis? Let me show you. Skewness and kurtosis. You can see here. Now, usually we expect a nice normal curve. The data to distribute is a nice bell-shaped symmetrical curve. But not always you will see data in that manner. Sometimes when the data is drawn, it might be skewed to the left. Right? Or skewed to the right. We call this positive skewness. If the data is not symmetrical and if it is skewed, we call it skewness. There can be negative skewness as well as what? Positive skewness. So if the data, if you draw a histogram and if the data goes this way, that's negative skew. If it goes this way, it's what? Positive skew. So that's skewness. Then what's kurtosis? Again, you expect a nice normal curve. Here you can see a nice normal curve is expected, but sometimes the data might be peaked. When you draw a histogram, the data might be peaked. Or sometimes the data might be plateauing. So if the data is peaked, we say there's a positive kurtosis. But on the other hand, if the data is plateaued, we call it having a negative kurtosis. Kurtosis is that peakness or plateaus. Skewness means what? Skew means whether it's going to this side or this side. So likewise, data, those are measures of what? Distribution. Ideally, if the data is normal, it should have been 0. It should have been 0. Then already I told you about measures of location. Right? Percentiles. The 50th percentile, 71st percentile. Those are the location of the data in a data array. Once you put that in ascending or descending order. So there can be percentiles, there can be quartiles. That I. By using this, you can describe continuous data. Right? Earlier we described what? Categorical data. Now we are discussing what? Continuous data. Right. Okay. Now by looking at the data set, can you tell me a continuous data, a continuous variable that has continuous data? Go to the data set. Now let's go back to data. Data file again. The earlier one that you had opened. Right. Now this is the file and this is the variable list. You can see over here. We cannot see. Right. Now tell me, by looking at the different variables, what's the continuous variable? What's the continuous variable? Yes, I got the correct answer. What's that? Age. Age is a continuous variable. Age could be taken as categories, but here it's continuous because the actual age has been written. Age here is a continuous. Right. It's a continuous variable. Now let's take the age variable and calculate all these. Measures of central tendency, dispersion, and distribution. So please take down. Compute. Compute, please take down. Compute. 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 Measures of central tendency. 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 Comma. Distribution. 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 Dispersion. 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 And location. And location. And location. And location for the eighth variable. For the eighth variable. For the eighth variable. For the eighth variable. Now let's see how to compute all these measures of central tendency, dispersion, distribution, and location. For what? The eighth variable. You can do that for several other variables, but let's take the eighth variable. Right. How can you do that? Simple. You are going to go to statistics. Now write down the steps. Statistics, summaries, tables, and tests. Then other tables and go to compact table of summary statistics. Yeah, it's a little bit long way. That's bigger command. Summaries, tables, and tests, other tables, and go to compact table of summary statistics. Compact table of summary statistics. And they particularly have. Of course, you will have all kinds of descriptive statistics here. Yeah, then the no one. So they was on. Okay. Right. Here are statistics, summaries, test and summaries, tables and tests, and other tables, and compact table of summary statistics. So click on that, and then it will open. So this is called as abstract command. So you can select age. There is taking age key select current. And now you can select from here what you want. So let's select first the mean. So mean select current. Then let's select median. Median can work. Median. Median. Avasana mode again. So you can say take the other one. Mode again. Then we can see what? Measures of dispersion. What are the measures of dispersion? Standard deviation. Then you can take the minimum. You take the maximum. Then you can take the minimum. Then you can take the range. Take other medicine. And then we can also calculate the interquartile range. Within IQ. And also the need make it we'll take that later. Then we can also take what? Skewness. Because this possible. Skewness is also taken. Right. Now what you can do is, now if you want to pass a command without closing the dialog box, then the dialog box command pass. If you want to pass the command while without closing the dialog box, use the submit button. Submit. එතකොට ඒක වැහින්නේ. Okay කරොත් if you okay then it will close the dialog box. But we don't do it. අපිට තවත් ඒවාට තියෙනවා generate කරන්න. So therefore you can press the submit button rather than pressing okay. See? Here you have got all these statistics. Mean value. So we තවත් ඕනේ. මොකද උඩට මම ගන්න ගන්නවා. So you can see in this table, the mean value is 37. P50 is what? Percentile 50, that's the exact big value. That's median. P50 is median. Yeah, P50 is median. P50 means the 50th percentile, exactly in the middle. 50th percentile. That's how much? That's 36. You can see measures of central tendency are quite the same. And the standard deviation 12.9. Maximum value is 70, minimum value is 18. The difference between maximum minimum is range, that's 52. Right? So minimum maximum is 70 minus 18 is 52. The IQR is 21. Cuteness is 0.49. So ideally, if the data was symmetrical, not skewed, the value would have been 0. The value would have been 0. Is it 0? No, it's not 0. It's 0.49. But the small value is it. If this value is above 3, the value is skewness as well as kurtosis value, which will be computed now. If this is above 3, then there is a concern. Minus or plus 3, whatever I had in our skewness, that's a problem as well as the kurtosis. So we now need the kurtosis also. Then come to the kurtosis. The dialog and then now here I'll select rather than mean, I'll take kurtosis. What else? Kurtosis there. Then we can take the 25th percentile. Then we can also take the 70th percentile. The difference between 25th percentile and 30th and 25th percentile is what we call the IQR. IQR is 21. You can check that whether it's correct. And you can now press OK. So now you can see here, the kurtosis value is 2.4. That's a bit high, but not above it. And see, the 25th percentile is 26, the 75th percentile is 47. The difference between 75th percentile and the 25th percentile, Q3 and Q1, what's that code? IQR. IQR is how much? 47 plus 21. 26 is 21. Earlier we saw the earlier table, the IQR is 21. Did you see that? So the range we computed earlier and other things are there. Then we also do kurtosis. So this is how you generate almost all important descriptive statistics. For what? For a continuous variable. For a continuous variable, these are the descriptive statistics. Is it clear? See, I think it might have taken months to compute these things when you were in the first year. Because you did that part with what? Pencil and pen. Right? Now you are doing that with the computer, it takes only 2 seconds. You do it with 2 seconds. Not a big deal. So likewise, you can compute these things and describe a variable. You can describe a variable. Right? Is it clear? Right. Now there's job satisfaction variable. Job satisfaction is a Likert scale variable. From 1 to 5 Likert scale, it has been measured. Oh, let me see. I don't know. I can show you first. Yeah. From 1 to 5 Likert scale, it has been measured. But now I want you to compute Right? Measures of central tendency, dispersion, distribution, and location for job satisfaction. Please take down. Compute. Please take down. Compute. 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 The measures of central tendency. The measures of central tendency. Compute the measures of central tendency. Come on. Dispersion. Dispersion. Come on, dispersion. And distribution. And distribution as well as location. As well as location. As well as location. For the job satisfaction rate. 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 For the job satisfaction. Take you and then it was a Vasana, one takes a Vasana, one take it. In a villa, okay, don't go to it. The Vasana is the educated Apara. There is a take it. All of it. Okay. Attendance you have done now. Is a attendance got to like my which are attendance got. Are exercise करना. Come the attendance. Also attendance तो मैं करता. Take attendance if you are not on. Attendance का. Ona कितने वेला करना लांग लगान ona मार्क कितना करना ona selfie होगा. Good. Okay. Take attendance. Tu kan dia akan lepas. Wala, tu kan dia ada. You can take attendance. Okay. Is it fine? Then let's go again. Job satisfaction. So the job satisfaction variable calculate what? Measures of central tendency, dispersion, distribution, and location. So and then the attendance one. Then let's see it. My attendance coming back, then randomly forward tolerance. Random forward. Another very the one city. Maybe then making the forward. Right, now make a random to randomly all like here, it's not time. Wasn't it? Only the other current. Part of British show, I want to say. You are below 30 So, Mama, they were another. They were Mama, they were. What? ඊට පස්සේ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. අර ප්‍රකාශ කියනවා. නැත්තම් හදිසියෙවත් හොස්පිටල් ගෙනියන්න ඕන. ඉස්සරහට එක කිව්වම අපේ බ්‍රේක් නෙමෙයි. හાર્ට් රේට් එක වැඩි වෙලා. ඊට පස්සේ කොහොමද ඒක වැඩි ගහලා. වැටුණාට පස්සේ මට ප්‍රකාශ කරේ තමයි ප්‍රකාශ කපෝල් එකෙන් අල්ලගත්තා. මම උඩින් අල්ලගත්තා අපි දීවෝ. මොකද ඇම්බියුලන්ස් එක. ඒක නේද තමයි. මුලන් ආවේ තමක් නැහැ. යාළුවෝ කියමුණා නම් ඔය. අපි දෙන්න කොහොමද සර්? ඒක තමයි කොම්ප්‍රෙෂන්. ඒක තමයි. Why the current one? We right. Okay. Now let's see how to generate descriptive statistics for what? Job satisfaction rate. How to get it? You tell me. I forgot that. You are going to go on. You are going to go to statistics. Then summaries, tables, and this. Then other tables, and you go to compact table of summary. Then select. First select what? You have to select the variable, right? That's relevant. Not age, you can delete age, you can backspace age, right? And then you can select job satisfaction, job status. And after that, you can select whatever you want. So let's select green first. The median. And then we can also select measures of dispersion, standard deviation with maximum minimum value, and then we can in the next round we can select other things as well. Then you can submit. All right. Now what can you say? Are these employees satisfied? Now by looking at this is decision based. By looking at these statistics, you should be now able to make decisions. Right? Now tell me, are these employees? Now there are 439 employees. Now there are 436 employees. Who are responding? Are these employees satisfied? They will not satisfied. What's the mean value? Look at the mean value. What's the mean value? 4.25. In a 1 to 5 Likert scale, 1 is what? Highly dissatisfied. 2 is what? Dissatisfied. So let me take you to this. In a 1 to 5 Likert scale, Likert scale is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the Likert scale. Satisfaction scale. What's one? What's one? Highly dissatisfied. Then 2 is what? Dissatisfied. 3 is neutral. 4 is what? Satisfied. And 5 is highly satisfied. Now here the average. The mean value is how much? 4.2. And we have again. The average satisfaction rate is 4.2. Is it good or bad? It's good. So they are above satisfied. Is it? Yes. They are quite satisfied. What's the median value? Is it around 4? 5. So the median indicates 5. That's really good. So it's highly satisfied. So therefore, by looking at this data, you can say that these employees are quite okay and satisfied. Right. Right. So yes, the median is 5. The standard deviation is 1.1. That means from the mean, it goes 1.1 positive as well as negative. Max value is 5, mean value is 1, so the range is 4. The IQR is also 1. Skewness is not too high because it's less than 3, -3 plus 3, it's in between that. And you can also calculate what? The kurtosis and as well as the rest of the other variables. So I'll do that. So what I will is I'll take the earlier command and instead of age, I will say what? Job status. So you pass these commands. These are all by menus. You are passing what commands? So here you can see kurtosis is about 3.98. That's positive kurtosis. Too high, about 3. Not so good. Right? Shall we now draw histogram? The histogram have broken. Please take down. Drawing the histogram for 8 variables. Drawing the histogram for 8 variables. Let's see whether this is true. Drawing the histogram for 8 variables. So let's draw histogram for the 8 variables. Please take out drawing a histogram for age and job satisfaction for both variables. Let's draw. Whether job satisfaction is drawing a histogram for both age and job satisfaction variables. Histogram for age and job satisfaction variables. How we draw it? So you go to graphs, then go to histogram. Graphs, histogram. graph together, histogram again. Graph, histogram. Now it's not statistic, it's graph. Histogram. And let's first select job satisfaction. Age එකට කලින් අපි job satisfaction එක මොකද මේ kurtosis එක වැඩි කුටිකතාවය වැඩි. That means what? It's big. Job satisfaction. Job status. View the data is continuous. We expect the record data is continuous. Right? And that's it. And just press OK. You can see. It goes like this. 0.8. That's why it goes 3.9. It's not long. Right. Then let's draw a histogram for what? For the age range. Now select age. And say over. Here. That's why we saw positive skewness. That's a positive skewness for age. Go and check that. Go and check the statistics. There's a positive skewness for age base. And kurtosis, yes, not bad, but again, it's little plateau. There's a negative curve. Maximum minimum value 80. Right. So that's also well done. Right. So in fact, let's go down to the tutorial. So we have concluded. Now earlier, our task is to complete what? Measures of central tendency, dispersion, distribution, and location. With data, we could compute all. Right. We could compute almost all. Right. So now let's do a small exercise. What is the exercise department? So let's also use another data set now. I'll give you that data set. So this exercise we do together. Data session 2 survey for ED. Let me do this. And so it's in slide number 11. The question is there. I'll give you the data set now. So let me upload that to the LMS. So these are SPSS data set. Then we upload SPSS data set. So you have to import this to Stata and perform the analysis. Right, that's what we are. So let me show you how to do that. But I'll give you about 5 minutes to do it. So I give you the data set now. So I'll put it on the week number 2. On the week number 2, there's a file, sheet file. Special start session 2 survey for ED. That's a file that contains again employee data. I want you to compute what? So that's a SPSS file. Remember, it's an SPSS file. And what I want you to do is compute these things. So please generate frequency tables for gender, marital status, child, and smoker variants. Please generate for gender, marital status, child, and smoker variables. We see must import the data. Now these are SPSS file. The extension is what? So you see the extension is .sav. The extension is .sav, not DTA. So .sav extension is what? An SPSS file. So you have to import from SPSS to data. So use data, import function, and SPSS file. That's step number 1. Then afterwards, do a frequency analysis for these variables, gender, marital status, child, and smoker variables. Then number 2, do a in this descriptive analysis, like particularly continuous variables. For these continuous variables, age and T life set, total life satisfaction. That's T life set is total life satisfaction. Right. The descriptive analysis, like measures of sexual tendency, disposition, and distribution, as well as what. Can you do that? So go to week number 2. So week number 2 is there. And week number 2, you have this data file. Go to week number 2 and download. On week number 2, there is data session 2 survey form. It's an SPSS file. So when you import, use the option what? Check SPSS. Import an SPSS file. Use this file. This is an SPSS file. So import. This data again, having Excel file import kara. This data you imported an Excel file. Now import an SPSS file. And then perform frequency analysis for these 3 variables. Actually 4 variables. There are several variables. So these are the variables. In slide number 11, it's there. Gender, marital, child, and smoker variables. Perform a frequency analysis because those are categorical variables. Then for age and T life set is total life satisfaction. You can take down this, right? T life set is total life satisfaction of the employees. To compute their mean, median, and other measures of sexual tendency, disposition, distribution, and operations. Can you do that? So we take few minutes for that, 5 minutes. And let's randomly select a person. Is it? One of the Vasana. And again ask ChatGPT to do another day. Then move to Prakash Shah. Wow, over the Galle month. Right. Chatri. MA Chatri. They talking to put on extra day. Prakash, they what over here? Mama may open that she didn't here. Random. Chatri last day extra day. Age ticket adala, national gen ticket adala, frequency and section of the penny. They come to trial. The hospital is the form manish. Another student. The mother of the Vasana and the another student. Nishan. For Nishan. One more at the present cook. No, this is complete random. On this. Aha. Let's go to the other. Thanks. Get the noise for us. So, we went to the other. They don't. Mugan. Yeah, more variable the frequency and second. Again, one market computer there. Import fellows not in the countries. Gosh, then, more here. Wow, right. Okay. So please do the frequency. Do the frequency. So there are students who have already done that. Excellent. Please do it.
Now let's look at how we can do this and then go home. Right. First thing what you have to do is you have to use this file. So go to the LMS and down. So I'm going to go to LMS. So please download first the file if you have not done so, and then open a fresh scalar session. So I go and open a fresh scalar session. Right. Then now import the data. First thing you have to import the data. Let's see how to import the data. So import the data. How can you import the data? You go to file, import. Import what? SPSS data. Right? Import SPSS data, not SAV. It's SPSS data. So go here and import that. Browse. And I'm going to go to my download folder. Just it's there. Data session to survey for ed.sav. So I'm going to open that. And then it lists down all the variables. There's no problem. You don't need to tick anything. You can press OK. So you can see the variable scale. The best practice is once you import, do what? Check whether the data is there. So go to browse command. You DRO WSC and see whether the data is there. Yes, indeed the data is there. So that's good. So you close it. Then what you do is you run the frequency analysis for those 4 variables. What are the 4 variables? Now here you can see the requirement was for gender, marital status, child, and smoker variables. Run what? The frequency analysis. Shall you do that? So what you can do is you can go to statistics, summaries tables, and then frequency tables, and you can go to one weighted. You go to one weighted. Then let's choose the first categorical variable, that's gender. And you can press OK. So here it's 0.39, 42%, 57%. Because it's the same data set that I have used. Then that's for gender. Then what's the next categorical variable? Marital status. So again, what I do is I use a shortcut. Now here you can see the commands are listed. There only the commands listed with you. So what I do is rather than going to here and there, I'll copy the earlier command and paste it. Just tabulate the command. Rather than gender, I put, you know what? Correct. I'm going to double check and it comes over. Right. Based on the statistics, what category is the highest? In terms of marital categories, what category is the highest? Married plus tag. So you can see 40, almost 43%, 44%. Then next one. So again, I'm going to go to tabulate and I'm going to go to the next variable. What's the next variable? Time mix. So yes, no. Again, the same results that we got there. And the final variable is what? Smoke variable. Again, I'm going to use this command. We use this command, tabulate. And now I'm going to use what? Smoke change. So you get the same result. Right? And here I purposely did not choose the missing values. Because why? Because I'm not that much interested in missing values. Okay. Then let's go to the second one. It says calculate the measures of center of tendency dispersal distribution, which we did for 8 variable. Shall we do that for the life satisfaction variable? So how can you do that? You can go to statistics and you can go to summary tables and then other tables, compact table. And now select the total life satisfaction variable. Total life satisfaction variable is here. You know you have selected that. Here, down, you go to down and you lift it up. And then you will see T life set. Can you see the variable? Total life satisfaction. That's it. And then the mean value, median. Then let's take the standard deviation. Then let's take the range. Then also let's take the skewness. Kurtosis, skewness. Maybe I'll take the part range. I give up. Likewise, I select something in suspect. Maybe I'll take standard deviation. Right? Standard deviation. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. What else is okay. And here the mean value is 22. The minimum value, maximum value is not given. But if you can take that as well. So the standard deviation is 6.76, range 30. Because if you see closely, this Likert scale for life satisfaction is ranging from 1 to 35, 5 to 35. You will understand sometime later why it's 5 to 35. Okay, this is how you calculate descriptive statistics. Any questions? Simply. Right? So we have discussed and finished all kinds of parts. Descriptive analysis. Next week we are going to discuss about correlation analysis and then regression analysis and t-test conveyor, likewise I'll discuss it will be going. Right. So next week probably you might have an assessment. So be ready. Okay, if that's the finish for today. Thank you very much. Show the best. And for all who celebrate, happy Vesak. So I have a nice peaceful Vesak with brilliance. I can see it's very colorful. It's very colorful and the batteries are also going to be involved in decorations. So thank you for that as well. So happy Vesak to all of you. Please celebrate and enjoy the rest. Thank you very much and see you next week. Thank you. Thank you.
Other thing
Okay, on side pass. Thank you for your participation. So we show the risk and